Doing great. Wake, you were a Red Sox team captain for the Jimmy Fund. Tell us why this has meant so much to you and how it's resonated with you and your whole family.
Obviously, the day I got to Boston in 1995, the relationship that the Red Sox and the Jimmy Fund had was instantaneous for me. And obviously, Roger Clemens was my teammate. I knew what he did with the Jimmy Fund, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps after he left. And the relationship has been there ever since. And even today, as a retired player, I'm still involved with the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Tell us a little about the connection. We talked before, Lisa, about the players and when they, become part of this, how you kind of know right away.
Oh.
What was Wake like?
It was the magic. It was he walked in and I knew. It's been, how long has it been? 20?
Wow,
20
probably more than that, probably 25 years.
25 years.
We've been doing this. And, Lisa, you know the story, TC, you do too. Because of the Jimmy Fund, my wife and I and my family used to go, there and visit with the kids. And even in Christmas time, we come up and give presents. And because of the Jimmy Fund, my daughter, Brianna, now wants to be a pediatric oncologist because of them.
Wake, I love that, and I've heard that story over the years. And that's why I said at the beginning of this, Wake, why it's meant so much to you and your family. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. Just like we had Brock and Lake and Holt on before, and I think some players get involved, and like you did, it becomes more than just sort of put my name to it. I'll go once a year, whatever it is. You became heavily involved, and once that happens, your whole family gets involved.
Yeah, the whole family gets involved, and as a player, obviously the whole team got involved too. The kids would come to spring training, especially the teenagers. They'd visit us on the road. I remember being with them in Atlanta, especially Lisa. You know the story in Chicago, carrying one of the boys down the stairs because he couldn't walk. It's a blessing to be a part of such a great organization that the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the Jimmy Fund. I was just listening to your broadcast earlier, talking with that family. My mother-in-law has a really close friend that has cancer. She's dealing with kidney cancer right now, and she was given, it's hard. She was given like a year and a half to live. She changed hospitals. I'm not going to say what hospital she was at. She changed hospital. She did the visit. They diagnosed her and gave her a better chance of survival being at Dana-Farber, and it's just it turned her world a complete 180 to where she's like getting treatments, and the road looks promising for her now. So I can't thank you guys enough for that.
It's incredible. I had the little scare with lymphoma, and it was luckily very little, but my wife is still upset. I called Lisa before I called my wife because you got to get me in there.
I would do the same thing too.
Right? Because that's, and that's what it's all about. The fact that people know immediately, right? If you get, I remember my doctor saying there's a great little place in Natick, and I was like, all due respect, I'm not picking my oncology based on good parking. I'm going to go into Boston and go to the best in the world. But you must get that all the time, which is a great thing, right? Like people I know someone who knows someone. Tim was just saying, his family members, you're bringing them in. People want to get them to the best care possible.
And I think we say to the patients and their parents all the time that we want to create this family environment. And we want to do that with you guys as well. You guys have given us your hearts, and you've given us the commitment and your dedication to this cause. And so it's natural that if I pick up a phone and it's something like that we're going to jump on that and we're going to make something happen.
Tim mentioned the spring training trips. It's always so special.
Oh my gosh!
Take us through a little of that, because it's not just we show and NESN generally show that video of like the 3-hour visit,
right?
But it's a 3-day extravaganza.
Yes, and I think Tim, you brought up it was Robbie that you carried, and I remember all of us chaperones were like, "Oh my God, be careful with your back!" Like we were worried about you. But the smile on his face was crazy, because those were the first days when I didn't have like the suite, and we were actually out in like the grandstand. Those were before I knew kind of how to do things, and we were trying to get him. He wanted to meet you so bad, and he was all getting antsy. He was trying to walk on one leg. And we're like, hold on. And you came up and You just picked them up and brought them down, and it just showed every teenager there that you were there for all of them. I mean, you did that one act, and it impacted every of the doctors and the nurses, every teen that was there, and that was really, there's no words for how that changed how we all looked at you. I mean, we already liked you a lot, but that was a big moment, because it really showed that you're gonna do everything you can to make these kids happy.
I always have your back, and I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my family. The countless hours that you spend at Dana-Farber, at the Jimmy Fund, the things you do for all those kids down there is truly an inspiration for me and my family as well. So thank you for all that you do, Lisa.
Wake, you get involved in something like this, and then your own family starts to grow. You have 2 wonderful kids. It hits different when you're a dad, doesn't it?
It does. It really does hit different as a dad. When it's single and just married, going to the Jimmy Fund and being with the kids is really special. But when you start to have kids of your own, you realize how important health is for your kids. And seeing what these teenagers and younger kids have to go through, but I know they're in the best hands possible. And I know that if anything ever happened to my 2 children, that the first phone call I'm going to make is going to be to Lisa to get them into Dana-Farber. So I'm just honored to be on the air and be a supporter of the Jimmy Fund. And, for years and years, I will always have you guys' back. That's for sure.
Well, it's an honor to have you with us, Wake. It always is. When are you coming back up? When are we getting you back in studio?
I'm actually leaving Friday coming up because I guess Apple TV took our game on Friday, and then I'm working with you Saturday, Sunday, and the rest of the next series when they're, I think, on the road in Minnesota, maybe?
Yeah, Minnesota. Yep. So we got this week in Tampa Bay, Minnesota starting Monday. Sounds good. Safe travels. We will see you up here when you get. Thanks.
Bye, Tim.
Before I go, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
no.
I created a foundation through my donor advisory fund, and I want to make a $20,000 donation to the Jimmy Fund on behalf of my family, okay?
Wow. That was unexpected. Wake, you are the best. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I love you.
We'll see you soon.
See you
love you back.
Week. All right.
He's going to go win that on the golf course this afternoon. It's wonderful. But Wake, you're the best. We love you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.